It is not an accident that you are seeing this video. It doesn't matter how you got here, whether it was through the algorithm, a friend's recommendation, or if you already follow this journey. There is a message that needs to reach you today, July 25th. A crucial message about the seed of power, of radiant authenticity, and of creativity that you planted yesterday in the sacred darkness of the new moon in Leo. That seed is, at this very moment, incredibly potent, but also incredibly vulnerable. If you ignore this transmission, if you treat it as just another piece of content, you run the risk of letting your most powerful creation die before it even germinates, suffocated by doubt, inertia, or the confusion of daily life. Consider what follows not as a forecast, but as a delivery, an urgent guide to decode the message the universe is trying to send you right now in the silence that follows your great intention. Think about it. Yesterday, with the new moon in Leo, was the day of the heart, of declaration, of the creative act of faith. It was the moment to present the script of your new protagonist to the cosmos. Today, the energy has changed. The moon has entered the practical, analytical, and detail-oriented sign of Virgo. And that is why the message arrives now. The energy has shifted from wishing to doing. The universe delivered the vision to you yesterday. Today, it delivers the assembly instructions, the details, the necessary first practical step. Many plant their seeds on the new moon and then passively wait for magic to happen without understanding their role in the process. But manifestation is not passive. It is a co-creation. And today's message is the universe's formal invitation for your active participation. It is your first test of commitment to the new story you have declared you want to live. Together, we will decode this message, and I will give you the 3 keys you need to unlock it, understand it, and most importantly, act on it. Ignoring this message is like receiving a treasure map and refusing to look at the first clue. It is having the pieces to build the life of your dreams, but throwing away the instruction manual. Honoring this message is ensuring that the seed you planted yesterday has the soil, the water, and the attention necessary to grow into the majestic tree it was destined to be. But before we use the keys to open the door, we must first understand the state we find ourselves in, the atmosphere of this waiting room between intention and manifestation. We need to validate the mix of hope and anxiety that fills the air on the day after a great act of faith. We need to look at the echo of the seed. And what is this day after like? What is the silence that follows a great act of faith like? If you have done the work of rewriting and consecration, if you planted your seed of a new self in the fertile darkness of the new moon, then what you are feeling today might be a paradox. It is a mixture of hope and terror, of expansion and contraction. This is the echo of the seed, the first tests that your psyche and the universe present to you to check the strength of your commitment. The first and most common feeling that arises in this vacuum is the anxiety of silence. You did the ritual, you sent your signature, you planted your intention with all your heart, and now, silence. No sign from the heavens, no dramatic change in your reality. And in this silence, your logical mind, which detests the vacuum and faith, begins its counterinsurgency campaign. Was that it? It asks. Did you really think burning a piece of paper would change anything? Look around. Everything is still exactly the same. This anxiety is born from our programming for instant gratification. We want to plant the seed and see the tree grow the next morning. But nature and magic do not work that way. The most crucial phase of a seed's growth happens in total darkness under the earth, where no proof of progress is visible. This silence is not a sign that your intention has failed. It is a test. It is the universe asking you Can you sustain your faith in the darkness? Can you trust the invisible process of germination? While the anxiety of silence tests your faith, another voice, older and more insidious, emerges from the shadows. It is the voice of your old character, the one you tried to retire. This is the second feeling, the doubt of the inner critic. The old character does not die without a fight. It sees the new space you have created, the new story you have begun to write, and it interprets it as a threat to its own existence. So it launches its most powerful attack, doubt. It begins to whisper all of its most familiar and painful lines. Who do you think you are to claim personal authority? Remember all the times you tried and failed. You are not creative. You are not a leader. It's safer to go back to who you were. At least that role you knew how to play. This voice is not a sign that you are regressing. On the contrary, it is proof that your change was so real that it threatened the old system. It is the echo of a prison whose doors you have just opened. And in the heart of this storm of anxiety and doubt lies the most vulnerable feeling of all, the vulnerability of hope. It is the fear of hoping again. It is the memory of all the other times you allowed yourself to dream, when you planted a seed of desire, only to see it die or for the harvest to be bitter. Your heart, in an act of self-protection, may want to close itself off. It's safer to want nothing, it might whisper, because if I want nothing, I cannot be disappointed. This is the pain of a heart that has been hurt in its hope before. It is the fear of surrendering once more to the process of creation, afraid that the result will be the same old pain. Anxiety, doubt, and the fear of hoping. These are not signs that you did something wrong. They are the guardians of the portal of manifestation. They are the trials by fire that every new creation must face. If you succumb to them, if you believe the voice of doubt and dig up your seed to see if it's growing, you will kill your dream. But if you can breathe through them, if you can sustain your faith in the silence, you will pass the first test. And it is exactly to help you pass this test that today's message was sent. For this message is your first proof that the universe has heard your call. It is the confirmation that your new signature has been received. It is the first thread of light that penetrates the darkness of germination. But why does it arrive today in such a practical and detailed way? For that, we need to decode the transmission. To decode this message, we need to understand the language of the cosmos. The universe does not speak randomly. Every day, every hour, carries a frequency, a purpose, a function within a greater plan. The reason why this message of practical clarity reaches you today and not yesterday lies in the journey of the moon, our great emotional clock and the trigger of events in our soul. Yesterday, the 24th, the new moon joined the sun in the heart of the kingdom of Leo. It was a moment of pure fire energy, of the heart, of passion. It was an act of faith. You were invited to plant a seed, to rewrite your script, to declare a new identity, a new protagonist for your life. Leo energy is about the grand vision, self-expression, the courage to roar at the universe and say, "This is me. This is what I choose to create." It was a moment of speaking to the cosmos from your soul, without worrying about the hows, the whys, or the practical details. It was the king's declaration. But Leo energy in all its glory is not detail-oriented. It is the sovereign's vision, not the engineer's plan. It delivers you the dream, the decree, the ideal, but not the instruction manual. To leave the energy at just that point would be like having the brilliant idea to build a cathedral, but having no idea how to lay the first brick. And that is why today's energy on the 25th is so crucial. Today, the moon has left the fiery and passionate kingdom of Leo and entered the practical and analytical earthy realm of Virgo. If Leo is the king on his throne, Virgo is the priestess in the temple, the analyst in the laboratory, the healer who works on the details with devotion. Virgo's energy is about discernment, purity, practicality, service, and the search for perfection, not through grandiosity, but through constant improvement. The frequency has changed drastically overnight. We have moved from what do I desire in my heart to what do I need to do in practice. We have gone from the grand vision to the attention to detail. The moon in Virgo doesn't want grand declarations. It wants an action plan. It wants to see order, efficiency, usefulness. It is the energy that takes the grand vision of Leo and asks with a precise calm, "Okay, that's beautiful, but how are we going to make this real, step by step, in the material world?" However, Virgo energy carries a shadow, a trap that can distort the message that reaches you. Virgo, in its devotional search for perfection, can become the relentless critic. It is the voice of anxiety that whispers that your first step needs to be perfect, that the plan needs to be flawless before it is executed. It is paralysis by analysis, the fear of acting before you have all the information, which, in this imperfect world, often means never acting at all. If you feel this criticism or this anxiety today, understand, this is not a sign to stop. It is the instinct of the healer, of the priestess who seeks purity. The message that arrives through the moon in Virgo does not demand that you be perfect. It demands that you be precise, that you take a first step, however small, that is pure in its intention and perfectly aligned with the truth of your heart. Virgo energy is offering you a scalpel, not to cut yourself with self-criticism, but to make a precise incision in the fabric of inertia and begin the healing process. That is why the message reaches you today. The moon in Virgo acts as the cosmic delivery service for your intention. Your heart, under Leo's energy, made the grand request yesterday. Today, your mind, under Virgo's energy, is receiving the assembly instructions, the user manual for your new creation. Today's message is not a new vision. It is the first step of the execution plan. So, what is the content of this message? The message the universe sends you today is a test and a call. The test is, are you truly committed to the new identity you declared yesterday? The call is, if so, here is the first small, humble, and practical step you need to take to prove that faith to yourself and to the cosmos. Today's opportunity, therefore, is to unite the heart of Leo with the mind of Virgo, passion with practice, the dream with reality, vision with execution. But this cosmic message does not arrive like an email in your inbox with clear, bolded instructions. It arrives subtly, through signs, through synchronicities, through the whispers of your intuition. How, then, can we unlock it? How do we become conscious receivers of this transmission? For that, there are 3 keys, and these are not metaphorical keys. They are practical, energetic tools that you can use in the next 24 to 48 hours to tune your being to the frequency of the cosmic transmission and unlock the message destined for you. Each key opens a different door of your inner temple, and together they reveal the path, the door of listening, the door of observation, and the door of action. The first key is the simplest, and, in our age of constant noise, the most challenging, the key of silence. The universe's message does not scream. It whispers. It arrives in the space between thoughts, in the stillness between the notes of your life's symphony. If your mind and your environment are constantly full of noise, notifications, podcasts, television, conversations, the voice of your own inner critic You will never hear it. You might be receiving the most important message of your life, but your signal is out of range. Your first act, therefore, is an act of creating space. Your work today is to find a 10 to 15-minute period of absolute silence. And I mean absolute. Turn off the phone, the computer, the television. If possible, be alone. It is not a meditation to think of nothing, which is almost impossible under Virgo's energy. It is a practice of active listening. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and your only intention is universe, soul, higher self. I am here. I am listening. And then just listen. Listen to the silence. Pay attention to the feelings that emerge, the ideas that float by, the sensations in your body. Do not judge. Do not analyze. Do not cling. Just observe the flow of your consciousness in a state of stillness. This act of intentional silence is like installing a giant satellite dish on your soul, calibrated to pick up the subtle signal that is being transmitted. With the antenna positioned, the second key teaches us to recognize the signal. The message will rarely come as an audible voice from the sky. It will come through the universe's preferred language, synchronicity and symbolism. This is the key of detail, the key that honors the energy of Virgo. For the next 24 hours, transform yourself into a detective of synchronicities. Your mission is to hunt for and collect clues. What are the clues? They are the details that shine, that stand out from the background of reality. They are the numbers that repeat on the clock or on license plates. It is the word you hear 3 times in completely different places. It is an animal that crosses your path unexpectedly. It is the line from a song that seems to answer the exact question that was on your mind. Keep your journal nearby. Write down each of these small coincidences. Do not try to interpret or connect them immediately. That is the job of the anxious mind. Your task now is simply to collect the data, like a precise Virgo analyst. The pattern, the message, will only reveal itself once you have gathered several pieces of the puzzle. Be present. Be attentive. The universe is sending you the pieces. The universal message is never just for information, it is for transformation. And transformation requires action. The third and most important key is the key of action. After your period of listening in silence and observing the details, the message will begin to crystallize within you as an impulse, a call to a single, small step. The universe's message, filtered through the practicality of Virgo, is always simple. It will not ask you to change your whole life today. It will ask you to have that conversation, to send that email, to buy that book, to start walking for 15 minutes, to clean that drawer. Your final task is to honor this impulse. It is to take the first step that your intuition, now validated by the signs, has shown you. This action, however small, is your proof of faith. It is you saying to the universe, "Message received, and I am acting on it. I am your partner in this co-creation." It is the act that seals the receipt of the transmission. Listen in silence, observe the details, act with faith. These are the 3 keys that unlock the transmission destined for you. They take you from the place of an anxious spectator and place you in the role of a conscious co-creator of your own journey. And by using these keys, by receiving and acting on the message, you are not just ensuring the success of your seed. You are transforming yourself. You are becoming the person who lives in a constant and magical dialogue with the cosmos, a person who trusts their journey. And that is true manifestation. And that is the great transformation. The passage from a life where you feel alone, screaming for answers in a silent universe, to a life where you know you are in a constant and magical dialogue. The world ceases to be a place of random events and becomes a living tapestry of messages of synchronicities, and of guidance. Living in this dialogue does not mean the universe will give you all the answers explicitly, like a manual. It means that your sensitivity to its language will increase. You will begin to understand that life is a conversation, not a monologue. The breeze that blows, the page of a book that opens to a specific sentence, the intuition that arises during a shower. Everything becomes part of this communication. Mastery is not having all the answers, but knowing that you are always connected to the source of them. You no longer need to doubt your intuition or wait for a major crisis to receive clarity. You have learned to tune into the frequency in the silence, to observe the details, and to act with faith. You have become a master in the art of co-creation. Many will feel the anxiety of the day after, and doubt will paralyze them, letting the new moon seed die in the soil. But you, by using these keys, have chosen partnership. You have chosen to trust yourself and the flow of life. If this transmission has delivered the clarity you needed, honor this connection by liking this video, and to confirm to the universe that your part in the dialogue has been received and understood, go to the comments section and declare with confidence, "Message received." Feel the certainty in this act, and share this guide with everyone you know who is waiting for a sign from the universe. Finally, subscribe, because receiving the message is the first step. The next is to see the seed sprout. The moon now enters its waxing phase, and the small act of faith you took today will begin to gain strength and manifest in the world. The journey of your new creation is just beginning.